Hello captains, welcome back to another episode. Today we are in JFK Airport, and what we see in the sim is Dream Team's version of JFK, and on the video here I've got the Dreswick Designs version of the video that we did previously, just so we can compare. Now we haven't got the exact same view here, but I'm pretty sure we can try and match it a little bit here. If I zoom in a little bit here, we can pretty much try and say yes, that is an okay match. Now, one thing I did notice majorly is the texturing on the ground here. Now, we're not on the taxiway system in the sim, which we are on the video, but I do love the texturing in the taxiways for Dreswick Design. I like the cracked look for the texturing on the runways, though, which they didn't have in the Dream Team. Now, initial just looking at it, right, it does kind of look different. There are differences, and I think we're on a different runway completely anyway. I think we were on this runway over here in the video, or the taxiway. We're coming in from this side, but we'll take off. We'll do a loop, and then we will try and land at that exact same and come into that exact same spot. So let's get into our plane. Here we are. Hello. What's happened here? Something's not right here. That shouldn't be like that. That's fine, that's fine. 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 Hey, and that's fine now. So why did it go weird when I clicked one? I don't know. Maybe it's because I had chase plane up. Anyway, let's get in the plane. Let's take off. Let's see the difference. I did enjoy Dreswick's Designs version. I had no qualms with it whatsoever. Now, I'm recording as well, so it might be a little bit stuttery. I'm also got a video paused here, which is taking the system resources. So the frames per second, we really can't be, accurate on type of thing. It's more of a guide, I think. Ooh. Hey. Gosh. Right, flaps up. It's more of a guide, the frames per second. Now, looking at the sort of coming over the airport, it's a real busy airport by the looks of it. I do like the texturing, the modeling looks really nice. There's a lot of planes there. There's also when you install it, it asks you about ground environment map. Do you want to install that? Now, I don't know exactly what that is, but I clicked yes. So whatever that's done, that's something I'll have to look into. There's the New York skyline off to the distance. The textures, I think, look absolutely fantastic. The grass looks nice. It doesn't obviously blend in exactly with the water. There is a line around here, whereas Dreswick Designs blending in would be better. Let's go to the edge because we're still in the airport. Let's go see what when we go into sort of Dreswick Design territory, what that would look like. Looks like a very well used airport. It looks like it's we're coming up to that spot now, I think. Here we go. So here is the airport, and then here is that line. It's not exactly seamless, leaving one to another, but I imagine from a higher altitude, you really won't be able to tell. It does seem like a very busy airport. It seemed very bustling down there. Let's try and turn this sucker a little bit. You can see better. Yeah. But I tell you, the texturing for me, I think, looks a little bit better. Let's head up in the video where we flew over. Initially, see what we can see. Here we go. So that's kind of like that. The texturing looks dirtier, looks more photoreal, I'd say, in the sim now than it does in the video. I think Dreswick designs airports perhaps a little too clean, whereas this one isn't. See here, the textures in the video, they're not photoreal for me, whereas these here, these look gorgeous, and they look absolutely stunning. Now, in terms of which one was made for what sim, you know, the Dream Team, this version was made for prepared version 4. This is the updated version. Dreswick Design, I'll have to look into. I believe I am running the updated version again, but if it was made for prepared or if it was just upgraded, I don't know. But for me, look at this. Look, I mean, the textures on the ground here look much better, I feel, for Dream Team than they do for Dreswick Design. Here we are doing a flyby of the terminal. So let's try and get that shot in again. Let's get back in the sim. Let's stop climbing before we stall out, and let's head on down. Whoa! Shouldn't stall out when I'm falling. Let's try and get down to that terminal bit there, which should be, where are we? Should be replicated in the sim somewhere, you'd think. Is it over here? It's a very big airport, I must say. It's got to be over here, isn't it? Very, very big. Here we are. I think that's it there. Let's head out over it, swing around. I think we were aiming for the tower. Yeah, that looks exactly, that's it there. So let's do the same. Looks like I was looking out my left window. So let's do the same here. I'm gonna crash, I think, trying to do this. We're going to hit the tower. There we are. Yeah, it kind of looks similar. It's got moving traffic. The roads look better. It looks more 3D in the sim now, rather than a picture in here. Even the terminal looks a lot better. Okay. So let's do a fly around here. Let's come in for a landing. Let's get the runway up on, and we'll in fact we'll land at the same runway. Where is it? That runway there. Let's go around that same runway landing. I mean, I'm very much liking it. Yeah, I think I will keep the FS Dream Team version. This just looks totally real. The textures on that runway look so gorgeous. Where is that? So we need to, okay, loop-de-loop around this way. Okay. Woof, we're at 1,400 feet. Let's climb to 2,000. Our flaps are all the way up. So frame-wise, you know what? I think they're. I mean, again, because of everything I'm running, can't really be sure, but I think it's pretty much the same in terms of frames. It should be over there where I need to go. Yeah. They're pretty much the same, I feel. Let's trim out a little bit here. So yeah, so if anybody who's on the fence of like, oh, I want to get the JFK airport, but do I get Dreswick Designs Airport? Do I get Flight Beams, or so the Dream Team airport? The question you've got to ask yourself, I think, is what kind of simulator are you building? Me, I am trying to build a photorealistic simulator. You know, for me, this landscape here on the horizon, photo real. That looks like the horizon, and with the weathering built in. You know, the buildings here they stand out, and that's because I haven't got the lighting activated. But if I changed the time of day, they would. If we looked out this side of the window, these buildings look better, simply because the lighting is perhaps a little bit on the other side. I think the type of the weathering that you're putting in really does affect your sort of look of the sim, definitely. So we need to come out over here, and we need to land. Where is it? The runway should be just over here. That's the runway we're aiming for, I think. So we need to fly out along over here and come along there. So yeah, it's like, what kind of sim you building? You're building a photoreal sim, you're building just a training sim that you're really more bothered about accuracy. They both very look the same in terms of the layout. The layout does not look any different. So there's a race course down here. But the main difference for me was the textures. Textures on the runway for a Dream Team look photoreal, look much better. The ones for Dreswick Design, they look good, but they don't look photoreal when you compare it to Dream Teams. They do look good, and I'd be happy if I had that package, you know. But when you then line up another one next to it, then you can see the differences. And for me, I sit on the fence of, I like my textures to be oh gosh, we're at 3,000 feet here. I like my textures to be photoreal, and so there's an element of dirt and grime and oil that you want on your textures, so they are photoreal. And then when you add in the shader preset for the world as well, I think that just adds again another element of photorealism. So that's what I'm always aiming for. Look at New York, beautiful. That's what I'm always going for. So there it is over there. Obviously, the sim looks like it's always trying to save frames and make it the best by loading in what we can see and not loading in what we can't see. But then when I suddenly shift my camera position, it then needs to load stuff in, and that's why you get the black until it loads in. It just needs time to load in. That's okay. Right. -8 over there. The reason I have the labels left on, I wouldn't see that plane if the labels were off. I really wouldn't. It'd be just a dot, which that's more realistic than seeing this. But I do want to be, for the time being, made aware of the traffic. I don't want to suddenly be caught, you know, oh gosh, we're going to die because we crashed. We definitely need to start losing some altitude here. We're getting a bit too high. Speed's a bit too fast here. Let's go down a bit. There we go. I'll start losing it. So the airport's over here. Oh gosh, didn't need to do that. Airport's over here, and there should be a runway. That's the runway there that we're going to land at. That one there. So we need to lose some heavy altitude. Alright, let's descend down. And we're going to do, I think we should have aimed it for over here. And we're going to come along here and then do our turn over the, I do like the look of the sea. It does look really nice. And really realistic with the weather and that. We are descending a bit. We are a bit high for what we want to do, but it's okay. Coming down. We get to 2,500, I think, and then on our turn we can still keep descending. Okay. Just check our position, the airport. Yep, we will get there. See, that's the only. Well, no, that's realistic. Water, but it is New York, not Florida. Okay, let's do a turn. Hit 2,000 feet. Okay, we're gonna have to do a little bit of a right turn first, I feel, to lose some of this altitude. Okay, let's come in on final. Not too fast. Okay, there we go. So we should now see a real difference, and I'll play the video when we hit that exact same spot on the video. By the looks of it, there are some trees missing straight away that haven't been input. Right, so the video. I'm doing this one-handed now. Let's play the video from now on. Okay. Everything's going to start stuttering, and it's probably going to crash now. Doing too much the system resources to take. Okay, let's get back on track here. So, looking at the coming into the final type of thing, I must say, Dreswick Design's airport there looks a lot more realistic. Let's just pause that video for a sec because we are too close. And stage of flaps. Okay, we can now bring it in. Okay, yeah, the Dreswick Design Airport from this altitude looks a lot better, that runway for me. Looks a little bit more photorealistic. In fact, let's just, when we hit the touchdown, I think, let's pause it. Pause it there. Let's touch this bird down. Final stage of flaps, I feel. Now it actually looks better, I think. It now looks more realistic in Dream Team's runway at this point now. Whereas further away, I think Dreswick Design's airport had a little bit up. The grass looks the same, you know. Land this puppy now. There we go. We're both in the ground in the video and the thing. So let's just follow the video now as to where we went off. I think we went to the end of the runway, I believe. That video in the corner is stuttery because it's playing through that. Bumped at the same spot. Okay, so I think we turned off here by the looks of it. I do like the textures on this runway a lot better than Dreswick Designs because it's cracked and it has that extra kind of looks real type of look to it. So we are turning off now, I believe, here. I think this is where we turned off. Pretty sure. We must have... Hang on. No, continue forward. I think, yeah, it looks like I've taken the right way. Don't think the layout, I don't know, I don't think I can go the right way. Doesn't look like the layout is exactly the same. I think I should be seeing a different viewpoint. Hang on a second. I think I should have cut across a runway before now. I don't know. Let's get the tower just to the offset there. We'll come in. I think there is a runway here that I should have cut across, but I don't see the runway. So yeah, there's no runway unless the runway's here that I've just. Maybe I just was a bit impatient then. Let's come in off this runway here. Just want to pull up to the same spot I did. I don't know. In the video, really. I think I'm coming in the video down this spot here. Turning in. Should be turning into the airport by now. Yeah, you go over here. Should see the control tower just off there. Yeah. I pulled off way too early, I think. That's what it was. Right. I think I know where I'm gonna be parking this sucker now. Right. Just go straight in. Right, so looking at the here we go, on track. Where that plane is, that's where I need to park. Right, well we're gonna have to settle up next to the plane. So looking at the textures now, Dreswick Designs textures here, I think look a lot better for the runway, for the taxiway, sorry, and the jetway. Their tower and Flight Beam's tower is pretty much identical, to be honest. There's not much in it. Same with the buildings actually look a little bit different. I see. The thing is, if we could have best of both worlds, that would be awesome. Because I do like the buildings here for Dreswick Design and their runway texture and their taxi or gateway textures. These gateway textures are a little bit. Got the engine. So there is a difference in what we see. I know we're not exactly in the same spot here, but there is a difference. Let's pause the video. The textures here and the textures here are different. For me, Flight Dream's textures from the air are more photoreal than when on the ground. By the looks of it, there's a couple of frames per second increase with Flight Dream. Dreswick Designs buildings, though, I feel perhaps are a little bit better than what we have for Flight Dream, but then again we are a bit more zoomed in. It's just this building here, I prefer Dreswick Designs building. Tower looks the same. The sort of ground service trucks here. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, they're actually the same. Because I don't know. That's the same dude from this video. So obviously that's GSX. Sorry. So all this litter here is GSX in front of the terminal building. Terminal building looks kind of similar. That might even be GSX as well. That on top of that, I think the the textures for the buildings for Dreswick design might be a little bit better. Yeah, I think they might be just a tad smidgen better. Whereas, and the textures for the runway, or the the gateway here, these textures, I do prefer them than the textures here. See, these textures here don't look as cool or real as these ones here. The markings are all pretty, don't matter. When we came in on the approach, the texturing or the airport looked very much the set, like very photoreal. But then when we actually came up to the runway, it then looks photoreal for Flight Dream. Do you know what? This is a real tough call. Yeah. I think I'm going to have to do some more tests before I make a decision. Because it's a real tough call, this one. There's just like bits of elements of both that I like. And if I could have both, I would, but I don't think I can. Maybe if I go and just replace the gateway textures from one to another, I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, that's this video. That's the JFK comparison with Dreswick Design and Dream Team. And in the next video, we will be hitting up with a new state, because that's basically New York, the state of New York done. I've installed everything for New York. And now, the next video I do will be a two-parter. We will fly Antarctica before I install Antarctica X, and after I install Antarctica X. So until next time, guys, take care, and goodbye. Keep flying.